Being fit has been the recent trend in the country. Everyone wants to be physically active so that they can have a healthier, leaner body. Now, there's a better way to achieve that dream without sacrificing your favorite food. There's also no gym requirement and no calorie count. Oh my God, I want to hear about this. We introduced the No Stress Fat Loss Program, and fitness consultant Noel Blanco joins us in the studio to tell us more about this. Good morning, Noel.
Hi, good morning.
All right.
Right.
Really? I mean, no stress,
Exactly.
no dieting, and
Nope.
no actual gym membership or exercise.
None required. If you don't want to
I'm
go through all of
interested to know
that.
how this is really all going to work. Tell us about it, the No Stress Fat Loss Program.
Yeah, first of all, it's based primarily on fun, right? I go out of my way to make this fat loss program as fun and as easy and as enjoyable as possible for the participant.
All right.
This is important because, well, we all know that fat loss and fitness programs have been around forever,
Yeah.
right? But we also know that, unfortunately, most, if not all of them, have a huge failure rate.
Okay,
You know,
yeah,
fat
that's
loss
true.
and fitness is a common goal to pretty much everyone, right?
Okay,
So
but
it's
those are two separate things,
Yeah,
really. I mean,
sure.
fat loss and fitness can happen together, but they're not but they're not also one and the same thing.
Yeah, they're not
are
the same
they?
thing, no. But yeah, of course, for sure. So my point is, again, these traditional plans have high failure rates primarily because they do technically work. I'm not ragging on any of them, right? But they have a failure rate because a lot of the time they make people miserable. They make you give up certain things, too
Right.
difficult workouts. So it's important for my plan to do pretty much the opposite of that.
Okay.
Make it as fun and enjoyable for the person from day one onwards, so they'll actually reach their goals instead of
Stick
like
to it and
stopping.
stick to it.
Yeah, stopping halfway or yo-yoing off it eventually. Yes.
Right. Okay. There's some very interesting points, though, that you're saying
Yes.
that your program essentially includes being able to eat your favorite foods
Every day.
every day.
Every day.
No strict food restrictions, no
No.
strict portion control, no calorie counting, no
None
pills
at
and
all.
other weight loss drugs, and all workouts last less than 30 minutes.
Less than 30 minutes,
You don't,
for sure.
And you don't even need to be at a gym or have a gym membership to,
Yeah,
to do
for
those
sure.
exercises.
Yeah, there are tons of exercises you can do with minimal space, no equipment, and no expensive gym membership if you don't want to.
Okay. So what's the formula here? I mean, I'm under the impression that weight loss or fat loss, weight loss is generally the formula is generally burning more than you ingest. Does this still hold true? To this, to the program?
That's theoretically and technically true, but again, when you apply that to real life, it's not that simple
Right.
because you run on a treadmill for hours and hours and hours, and all you burn is 200 calories,
Right.
But even very thin, very lean people, very short people consume up to 2,000 calories a day. So if something like running on a treadmill for a whole hour burns only 200 to 300, how long do you have to run to burn that? So it's really not that practical in real life. So essentially,
But we're not talking about doing it all in a day, are we? I mean, we're talking about 200 calories every day, and you compute your deficit over a period of a long time.
Sure, but what if, for example, and this is the real problem here. What if, for example, your best friend has a birthday?
Right.
You have to go there, and then there's a large birthday cake and your favorite treats
And
there.
let's not forget the lechon.
Yeah, exactly.
There.
And just one meal can accumulate to 5,000 calories.
Absolutely.
So that can wreck an entire month's work if you do that. If you do this the calorie counting way, like you just prescribed right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how what sort of an approach makes a system like that you're talking about work?
Yeah, the method works. It's based on something called eating and exercise timing.
Okay.
Right. But first, let's talk about food, because food is really the key to weight loss here.
Right.
Not as you mentioned, the exercise. Exercise can work, but it's not key. It's the
Okay.
food. It's our eating habits, right? So why do we eat? What is food? We need food for energy. We need
Right.
food to survive, but we don't need it all the time. Like now, we're not eating because we don't need to right
Speak
now.
for yourself, buddy. I got my baon right over here.
Yeah.
no. But yeah. Okay. Go on.
Sure, yeah. So I basically indicate, again, the plan is 100% personalized for the person, so it can be easy and fun and whatever. But I basically indicate, I figure out based on their current lifestyles, when is the best time for them to eat food, when is the best time for them to eat less food, or no food, things like that. So things like calorie counting, portion control, food deprivation, things like that, don't necessarily need to enter the equation at all. As long as when you eat the food, when your body needs it, it will use it.
Okay.
And it won't store it. And that's pretty much the key to it.
But then again, I mean, if you're saying eat anything you want, I mean, you're going to create a surplus of calories rather than a deficit. So how does it result in a loss?
That's another thing, because we can't take what you said a while ago as the cardinal thing. I mean, that's still true, but there are still other factors you have to take advantage of. Like again, the timing is something that's been known for quite a while, but it's something that not a lot of people have been looking at.
Okay.
And if you really eat these particular foods, high-calorie foods, whatever. And I'm talking, when I say favorite foods, I mean favorite foods, like the lechon you were talking about,
yeah,
the
your
birthday
chocolate cake, your ice cream.
I mean all of that, right?
Okay.
Your body will use them at that time.
Okay. How do you determine what time is the best time? When you say eat it when your body will use it, what exactly is that time?
Generally, your body will use more energy, will need more energy the more active you are, right?
Okay.
This is the whole metabolism thing.
Right.
That's generally earlier in the day, right? When you're normally more active, like when you had a good night's sleep, you get up, and then you want to face the day, right? Your body is geared, evolution is geared us to face the day. But then you wind down. Right, you want to go to sleep.
Right.
Your activity level basically crashes and flatlines. Right, and you don't need the energy anymore because you're basically just sleeping.
Okay.
So I use those as general guidelines, aside from other things, of course, science, whatever, to determine when you need the energy, when you don't need the energy.
Right. So don't eat and sleep.
Yeah, that's
Basic rule.
that's
Okay,
that's a free sample right there.
It's sort of hard to do
Midnight
anyway.
Snacking is
all right.
bad.
But one common mistake or one common error that most people seem to make is generally they wake up, they're in a rush to go to work, and they don't eat breakfast. They don't fire up the metabolism. They don't eat, like you say, when the body needs it. I mean, you wake up after you go to sleep, and basically your energy stores are empty, and your body wants the energy, wants the food to fire up the metabolism.
Here's the thing, though. How do we know when we need the food? It's a pretty basic thing.
Okay.
We're hungry. Yeah, we need hunger.
Yeah.
So that's different also for a lot of people. Some people just don't feel hungry in the morning. If they feel they don't need the food, then they simply don't need it, and they can go without breakfast. A lot of the time, like,
so you don't believe in that? You don't believe in firing up the metabolism?
Well, I do believe in firing up the metabolism, but it's not an absolute that you need to eat after waking up. In fact, here's another free sample. It has shown, studies have shown, and it's part of my plan as well, that if you actually delay breakfast, but not talking about skipping breakfast, of course, breakfast is good, it can actually be very beneficial for fat loss. So those people are actually doing a good job.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you first wake up in the morning and you're not ingesting anything, are you burning glycogen? Are you burning fat? Are you burning your carbs? What are you burning?
You're burning your stored fat right there. So, that's another free thing I'm giving out right there. So yeah, essentially when we're really active, automatically our body really needs the energy, so it will use it. Okay. If we give it the energy, that's the one it'll burn. If it needs energy and we have it stored there, that's the one it'll burn.
Okay, let's tackle point number 4 and number 3. No strict portion control. This is something everybody wants to hear. You're saying you can eat what you want as long as you do it when it's supposed to be done.
Sure. Yeah.
Again, going back to your theory of eating when you need to eat it.
Yeah, no strict portion control. Again, I asked, when do we know when we need food? We're hungry. When do we know when we don't need the food anymore?
Yeah.
We're full or we're not hungry anymore. So stop at that point. But again, no portion control, because everyone has different limits on how much food they can ingest. So that's up to them. I won't necessarily tinker with that, because just eat however you want, and then when you're full, you don't need the food anymore, just stop.
So basically, people who are overweight and want to lose weight are already eating what they want. It's the problem is when they're eating it.
Yeah, because a lot of the time, unfortunately, our body tells us when we need the food, but that's unfortunately not necessarily what we listen to when we actually choose to eat. There's this key word there, choose. We just choose to eat all the time simply because the food is tasty, or we like it, or whatever, right? So people just keep eating and eating and eating, even if the body doesn't need it, and it gets stored. When it doesn't need it, of course, you store it. There's only one way it gets stored. It's fat.
It's fat. Okay. Well, just to round off the discussion is what sort of exercise or no exercise? Well, you are talking about exercise and activity, but not necessarily, suiting up and going to a gym. There are ways to exercise, but they don't necessarily have to adhere to traditional. Let's go to the gym.
Yeah. That's actually very important, because I have a lot of clients who are over 60, closing to 70. So they can't, by definition, like go to the gym and lift heavy weights or something. So like some of my clients, they're over 60. They just walk. They do walking because that's the appropriate exercise for their health and fitness level. Or maybe they have something bothering them like arthritis, but they still want to lose weight. That should still be in their reach. So I don't prescribe exercise at all because you can't force these things on people.
True. Okay. Well, you want your cake, you can eat it too.
Yeah,
contact
for sure.
Noel Blanco. He'll tell you how to do it all. How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can contact me by cell phone or my landline or by my email.
All right.
And yeah, whatever.
Look
just
you up on
contact
Twitter,
me.
Facebook.
Twitter, Facebook, everything
it's all
for
there.
sure.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Noel Blanco.
Thank you very much.
Fat loss and fitness consultant. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.